Welcome to the Practitioners Rise podcast. I'm your host, Hailey Krajewski, marketing strategist, natural health advocate, and a mom on a mission. Each week, I sit down with natural health and wellness practitioners from around the country who are doing incredible life-changing work. We go deep on the things you've been Googling at midnight, share real tips and resources, and my hope is that you walk away feeling more informed, more empowered, and more confident in the choices you're making for yourself and your family. Because I fully believe that when practitioners rise, entire communities rise with them. So let's dive in. All right, you might be wondering why someone who runs an online marketing business has a podcast about health and wellness. So I thought I'd share the why behind this podcast because it's really personal to me. So our health journey as my family started when my twins, who are now 7, almost 8, had awful eczema as babies. I believe it started when they were just around 4 months old. Their skin was covered in rashes from head to toe. It was so painful and irritating for them. And it was really painful for me as a mom. We tried every cream. We spent hundreds of dollars. We did all of the things. And at some point, it just becomes so mentally and emotionally draining because as I was exclusively nursing them, I kept thinking, something I'm doing is causing them this pain. What am I doing wrong? Why can I not get this under control? Right? Everywhere I took them, it's just bad eczema. I was just being told it's just bad eczema. You're going to have to put this steroid cream on it forever, right? Every day. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I know there has to be something deeper. And so I was trying everything, right? And it wasn't until I saw a chiropractor, and I'd never been to a chiropractor before, but at this point, I'm like, I'm going to do anything and everything in my power to make sure that they are not suffering. And so I saw a chiropractor, and that's when things started to shift. She asked me, have you ever thought about food allergies? Everything starts in the gut. And sure enough, I hadn't thought of that before. But sure enough, we got them tested and they had allergies to dairy, eggs, and nuts, among animals and other things. Those were the main things. And so within 2 weeks of cutting those things out of my diet, their skin was completely clear. Right. And this is after I had tried it, everything, but none of that worked because it all started in the gut. Okay, so their skin was completely clear. So, of course, I started reading food labels, doing all the things. And then that leads you to ask, like, why is this in our food? What even is this ingredient? Why does it have to be in there, right? Can it just be normal, real, whole food ingredients in the things we are eating? And so, of course, you just go on and you start reading everything and questioning and wanting to know more, right? And so then a little while later, one of the twins again had an asthma attack. And after, we had a few trips to the ER. One, we were even airlifted to a children's hospital because there were no ambulances, no beds available. We just couldn't get his oxygen back up. And we were told after that he is going to have to use a steroid inhaler every single day to keep it at bay. When it gets bad, albuterol every 4 hours. And if you can't get it under control, come into the ER, get a steroid, all the things, right? And I just kept wanting to know the deeper why. There has to be more education around our choices. There has to be more. And this continued for a while. And again, you can Google so many things, but you don't know what's reputable and you don't know what's not. And you just start to kind of go down this rabbit hole. And if you're anything like me, then you try all the things and it starts to work. But maybe you get a little overwhelmed and then you stop and then it doesn't work. And it's hard to get back on track because again, you're not really sure why or what or how to heal. So anyways, then my 4th child was born. And that by that point, I had researched more, learned more, and I didn't just go with the flow anymore. I started to ask more questions. I became more intentional about what I was putting into my body, on my body, what we were putting into our boys' bodies. And you just start to become more aware. And so I want to be careful because I do believe there is a time for Western medicine. I know a lot of great doctors. And in fact, as I'm recording this, just that again, my son was in the hospital for 2 days. He had an asthma attack that came out of nowhere. We couldn't get it under control. His oxygen levels dropped into the low 80s, and we just couldn't get them back up. And they did a chest x-ray because after a day in the ER with oxygen, we still couldn't get it back up. And they found pneumonia in his lungs. And he hadn't even seemed sick. Had no idea where this came out. And so they're doing all the things, right? Again, I'm thankful. He's breathing. He's surviving. He is here with me. What we did, antibiotics for the pneumonia, steroid to open up the lungs, albuterol inhaler, all of the things. At the same time, his body's just eliminating all of it because that's a lot for a little tiny body to handle. And so the whole time that I'm sitting there, I still get that knot in my stomach every single time. And in that moment, all of these thoughts keep flooding back, right? As I'm sitting in the ER in the hospital, like, am I failing him as a mom? Why haven't I figured this out by now? I should be able to help him more. I shouldn't have to come to the ER every 6 months to get a steroid because I can't get this under control. Even though I feel like I've tried all the things, but then I just give up, right? I don't want to have these thoughts. And I sure as heck know I'm probably not alone in saying this. If there's a listener out there that feels this way of like, we want to be able to help our kids. And I know that I'm not feeling him because I am trying, but that guilt is real as a mom, as a parent. I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about. And so there just has to be a different way, a better way, because I want to be more educated. Does he really need this? Can his body heal? How do we prevent this from happening again? Rather than just managing it daily with steroids or antibiotics or allergy medicine or whatever else is needed, right? What can we do to build this immune system? What can we do to remove the interferences and help his body heal? Because our bodies are innately powerful to heal themselves. And the more that I have been working with natural health and wellness practitioners and chiropractors and acupuncture and nutrition, I'm learning just how powerful our bodies are. That's why I want to bring this to you. So yes, I am grateful for the medical system, but I'm equally grateful for the incredible practitioners who have walked alongside us through chiropractic care, acupuncture, nutrition, helping me understand again how powerful our bodies are at healing themselves when we give them the right tools and nourishment. And that's what I want to help educate more moms, more families, more people on. What can we do to create a healthier generation? So I'm here to share the healing stories of natural health and wellness practitioners from around the country, people who have walked through their own healing journey, come out stronger on the other side, and are now helping hundreds and thousands of others do the same. It is my hope that together we can build stronger, healthier, happier communities, one practitioner, one story, and one family at a time. Thanks for being here today. I hope this episode gave you something you needed, whether that's a new perspective, a resource to explore, or just the reminder that you're not alone in this journey. And if today's episode spoke to you, tag me on Instagram, share with a friend, leave a review. That's how we build stronger, healthier communities together. One practitioner, one story, one family at a time. So see you next week. And if you're a natural health and wellness practitioner with a story to tell, I'd love to connect. You can find me at practitionersrise.com. Thank you.